entertainment. And you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for eye shake.
At Big Bird Transportation Service, we specialize in safe, fast, and dependable delivery transportation for businesses and individuals. Whether you're sending a small package across town or need scheduled deliveries for your company, we're here to make sure your items arrive on time, every time. Our team is committed to providing efficient logistics solutions with a personal touch. With a fleet of well-maintained vehicles and experienced drivers, we handle every delivery with care, from pickup to drop-off. Why choose Big Bird? On-demand and scheduled deliveries. Local and regional coverage. Secure and professional handling. Customer-first service. Call us today at 929-329-9938 and let Big Bird take your deliveries to the next level.
Pleasant good evening, everyone. Welcome to Over to You. Over to You, a program for the people, by the people. I hope everyone is doing well, having a pleasant weekend thus far, and making the best of the day. Okay, welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to the broadcast. This is a program for the people, by the people. Essentially, this program belongs to you guys. This program belongs to you guys. So I'll ask you guys to do the honorable thing and go ahead and like the program and share the link since it is yours. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to do the roll call. All right. You know, you gotta be on board early if you want your name to be called in the roll call, right? So, all right, let's start. Miss Yvonne Rodriguez, a pleasant good evening to you. Miss Desiree Smart Felix, by way of New Amsterdam, residing in Canada. A pleasant good evening to you too. Yonette Johnson, good evening. Joseph, good evening. Aileen Norton, a pleasant good evening to you. Miss Mary Figueroa, by way of Canada, good evening. Miss Rosemary Martindale Brackett, a pleasant good evening to you. Miss Sandra Hanover, oh yes, the Honorable Freedom Fighter, pleasant good evening to you. Miss Brenda Braithwaite, what a pleasure it is to always see you here on the program. Miss Mavis Davis Wells, what a beautiful name. A pleasant good evening to you. Miss Fidel Albert, good to see you. Good to see you. A fighter, always there. Miss Darkus John, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Colleen James, good evening. Eva, a pleasant good evening to you. Audrey Brown, a pleasant good evening to you. Susan London, good evening. Annette Nichols, good evening. Yulie North, good evening to you. Audrey Ward, good evening. Golly God, my brother, you're in the house as usual, please. He's going to tell you guys soon to share the broadcast. Please go ahead and share the broadcast. Karen Clark, good evening. Godfrey Williams, good to see you. Good evening. Good evening. Miss Airwill Dawn Cook, what a name. Pleasant name. Good evening to you, Miss Airwill Dawn Cook. Debbie Apple, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. If I didn't call your name, Miss Shondell Griffith, good evening. Your name almost didn't call you late. Norville, Berkshire. For a matter of fact, guys, you guys are not late. I'm late. The program is getting off to a late start today. Marcus Skinner, good evening. Miss Ann John, good to see you. Norville, Berkshire, good evening. Good evening to everyone. Lance Young, Lester, Beverly Ann Romaine, good evening, everyone. If I miss your name, Ann Lewis, good evening. welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. Lots of work to be done. Lots of work to be done. All right. In the opposition, the holistic opposition needs to be holding the government feet to the fire. All right. The PPP just must not be allowed to sit and operate the way they operate within the last electoral cycle. It must not be. Where do I start? Okay, let's start with what's before the courts right now with regards to the 2020 general and regional elections. So what I've noticed is that Mr. Lennox Schumann, and he's the second one to would have done so, has come out and said that his party, okay, submitted objections to the Guyana Elections Commission, but would have since then destroyed those objections that they would have submitted. He's not the first one to would have said so. Someone else also spoke about burning up records. I think that was a police officer, yes, that would have spoken of burning up records. Now, let me just say something. And I've been talking about this on my programs over and over again. Standards. Our standards in Guyana are so low, so lukewarm, right? Now, when you have these submissions, when you have these objections, these things need to be taken into record and placed in a repository, right? So to the extent you have a court matter, you are able to leverage that information that is already there. To have that information destroyed, it paints a picture, right? And any right-thinking smart person would say, well, it paints a picture of which party would have rigged the elections. It paints the picture's right there. It just cannot continue to be business as usual for the PPP. All right? It cannot continue that way. We need to create some strong standards, right? We need to go to Parliament very aggressive. Yes, it's 12 seats. Yes. And as far as, Parliament being called, what I have noticed within the last cycle is that Parliament is only called when the PPP needs a supplementary budget and they need to go to the Natural Resource Fund or wherever, they're going to get the money from. And that's not right, because it shows that the issues that are affecting Guyanese is not being addressed. Why isn't Parliament called bi-weekly? Why are we just meeting here and there 4 times a year, 5, whatever it is? Not in Guyana where there is so much happening. We have to do better. Again, I think I would have spoke on this before. When you want to do better, when you want to get stronger, thank you, Ann John. Thank you. With good strategic planning, okay? And I know that those 12 individuals are quite capable. And John is saying 12 seats can still do damage. She's absolutely correct. You have the likes of Sherrod Duncan, Dr. Campbell, Dr. Hines, the Honorable Sharma Solomon. You have some real strong people there. I see no weakness in that 12. It's all about execution. They have been on the ground. They have been doing some work. But I'll tell you this, brothers and sisters, more needs to be done. The 12 need to make a quick and early decision that, hey, you know what? We're going to be having press conferences every week or bi-weekly to keep the public informed. The public just cannot assume that you're working, right? They need to see your faces. They need to see who is representing them. All right? And you guys are quite competent. So we've got to start getting more serious. The other thing, look, we have 12 seats in opposition here. You need to find out what time is guaranteed to you guys on NCN, because it is done by the percentages depending on the amount of seats. While you may want to boast that Win has 16 seats, yes, 16 is more than 12. I agree with that. But by how much? 4? So it tells you that the APNU still have their time on NCN. And even the Honorable Amanzo Walton this year and the Forward Guyana movement should have, something there. They have a seat. In order to really build yourself and build your brand, you need to take advantage of every opportunity. The PPP should not be allowed to just unilaterally take over NCN and use it to put out their propaganda out there. No, you got to take advantage of those opportunities. Another thing, we have just completed an election cycle. Have nobody yet reached out to the government and let them know, hey, the Natural Resource Fund Board, we just completed a cycle. We need to establish that board again, because at the end of the last cycle, that board should not have continued to function. These are things you got to look at. You can't just bypass this. These guys are just robbing the Guyanese people in bright daylight. And I'm sorry, this opposition is just not strong enough. They're just not showing me enough of a backbone. I need to see more than this. I don't know about you guys, but more needs to be done. More needs to be done. The leader of WIN, and by extension, the leader of the general opposition, Azruddin Mohammed, would have come out and spoke about the conditions in the interland region. And what I watch, everybody jump out, yay. It's not today that has been spoken on. Now the PPP saying they're going to put a task force in place to address that. You guys see what's happening here? Are you guys seeing the narrative here? The narrative here is that when the APNU over the last 4 years was talking about these same transgressions, these same issues, it was not being addressed. So what you have here, this is what you call manipulation of the electorate. You got to think, you have to study these things to actually understand. This is manipulation of the electorate, because all of a sudden he speaks and there's action. What is he doing that is different from what the APNU would have done in the last electoral cycle? Brothers and sisters, ask yourself that question. Ask yourself that question. You Guyanese on the ground, you all really need to grow up and you all really need to mature. Okay? You all really need to get back in contact and pick up your bag of morals and put it back in your pocket and vote according to those morals. You want to run behind money? It's not going to get you anywhere. Where's the money thus far? Where is the money? You see what's happening to the rice farmers? Right? We see what is happening to the rice farmers. When the rice farmers were there and they were making their monies, they were not thinking about the general society. They were in their box, making their money. That's why I'm saying that everybody needs to come together as a quorum. Where were the workers at both sides when the teachers were on the line? People might want to say, well, both sides are private company. Doesn't matter. Those workers at both sides, teachers have to teach their children. You guys want change? You sure you want change in Guyana? Because you're not acting like it. You're sure not acting like it. Sometimes I am forced. Good evening, Miss Rondeline. Good evening to Brother Jamal Aziz. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Sometimes I am forced to think that opposition sometimes is playing in the game. Because these things are glaring things. I cannot be seeing certain things. We cannot be seeing certain things, and you're telling me that the general opposition is not seeing it. Right? They're the ones who should be belling the cat. Not us calling for the cat to be belled. Look, I'm going to say this. Everybody loves Mr. Norton, including myself. I believe that he's a good-natured, strong politician. But my brothers and sisters, this is not about Mr. Norton. This is about a movement. This is about execution. All right? I'm not speaking to make anybody bumps raise, but we've got to understand that we cannot waste time. The elections was a 9-1. It's now 9-27. People might want to say, Mr. Caesar, the guys need a rest. Need what rest? You don't rest in politics. You're a servant to the people. And it's not to say that these guys work 16 and 17 and 18-hour days. They don't do that. But for the hours that they work, they need to make sure that it is counting. I'm going to go a little bit backwards when before the 12 were selected for parliament. And I'll look at a few statements that was made by my brother, Kidaki Amsterdam. I know, something, Kidaki Amsterdam is a great servant. And he epitomizes what work looks like. You line up a Kidaki and a Mark Anthony bench. These guys have worked. These guys have served. They have served for nothing. Okay? They have served for nothing. All I'm trying to say is that somebody like Kidaki, does he deserve to be in parliament? I would say so. Just based on his work ethic. The guy's smart already. But forget that. We're going to look at everybody and we're going to be like everybody's smart. Well, what stands out? His work ethic. He is there early in the morning, every morning. The only time you're not going to find a Kidaki Amsterdam on is because they arrest him or did something to him. That's the only time you're not going to find him on. And I got to call the brother out. I got to call the brother out. I like to give people their stars. And if you ask me if he should be in parliament, absolutely. Because he would be effective in parliament. He's not afraid to say what's on his mind or what's on his heart. He's not afraid to stand up for people that looks like him when need be. So all of that to say that the 12 that has gone to parliament is that the onus is upon you guys to execute on behalf of the APNU, a party that is still considered to be one of the larger mass parties in Guyana. And if you would have had an elections, let's say another 8 months from now, the APNU would overwhelmingly get so much more votes. What happened here essentially is that people vote along the lines of money. And that is just flat out despicable. Because it's not going to happen for them. Now, how are you going to get a market for these rice farmers? How are you going to get a market for them? What are you going to do? Raise the rice in Guyana? Cost of living is already through the roof in Guyana. Inflation is through the roof. The government have done nothing to temper inflation. Nothing. So what are you going to do? The market, ladies and gentlemen, the market is just fluctuated right now with too much rice. And when you have a product, right? When a product becomes, too much of a product becomes available, ladies and gentlemen, there's an inverse relationship. So as you have an uptick in rice production, it going up, the price is going down. They're inverse, right? They are inversing. Austin Ogle is right. The government this government does not know what to do. This government does not know what to do. Correct, Brother Austin? They don't know what to do. I was seeing a little video where the guy had poison in a bottle and all of that because these rice farmers would have invested millions into combines and all of these type of things. I can tell you one thing though, like rice farmers, the APNU would have had a solution for you guys. Whether they would have went directly to the treasury and subsidize you that guys or whatever they would have done, they would have figured out something. But you same rice farmers, yes, you're the ones who went out there and you voted for the criminals that you now are forced to deal with. You have voted for them. All right? So what a man sow, so shall he reap. There's nothing I or anyone can do about it. You guys just have to deal with the consequences. I don't believe that you guys, to be honest with you, I'm not upset with you guys crying foul. But it's like whoop-de-doo. Which Guyanese is not crying foul? Who is not crying foul? You guys are now experiencing what the normal Guyanese have been experiencing for decades. Okay? For decades. So I hope you would have saved up some money. I hope you would have saved up some money. Guyanese, remember you cast your vote on September 1st. Look, I have to caution myself. I have to caution myself. You know why? Though I want to lay some of the blame on the Guyanese people, I have to caution myself. Why? Why I have to caution myself? Because same me who is trying to lay the blame believes that the opposition was beaten by a list. It's not the people that would have deceived them. We can't put the blame on the people until we have a new list that reflects that the people would have actually deceived the opposition. You see, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. But what I'll say is that before I put the blame at the people's feet now, I'm going to start to maneuver that blame to lay at the feet of the opposition. You should have bailed the cat. This is the democratic right of the electorate. Okay? This is the democratic right of the electorate that we're dealing with. You should have made sure that you bailed the cat and we had a new voters list and biometrics. Rhonda Lane, and thank you so much, Rhonda Lane. I love Rhonda Lane, man. She's here tonight. I just want to thank her. All right? Sun, rain, in between, wherever it is, she was there. She was there. And essentially, what she was showing to all the leaders is that, look, man, this is a movement that myself and Kedaki would have embarked upon. This is something worth, following. This is something worth increasing the pressure. This is an issue that we really need to address. Like I have said before, You can rebuild, you can get finances, you can do all the stuff that you want to do. It will not win you an election in Guyana. No opposition party is going to win an election in Guyana with the current voters list. Okay? The PPP has that list done pack. They had 5 years to design and fix it. Come on, guys. You're asking us to solve a 5-year puzzle? Can it be solved? Yes. But, ladies and gentlemen, when you have a list that is bloated and you're shorting in votes in one area, what do? You go to your surplus and you grab and you do what you have to do. You mix and match and you patch and you pinch and punch and you fix it so that it is favorable to you. I am no political scientist, but what I would say is that this is simple logic. If you study it, if you study the situation, that's all I just ask people to do, to just think about things. Neville Seatal. Look, Neville Seatal, also known as Civic. Civic is a real fighter, man. This guy is a real fighter. You know, they would have thrown him off his land in the good for Wacton area there, Pleasance area there. You know, and I've done stuff to him and his family. I know his wife is now deceased. May her soul continue to rest. But this man, he continues to stand with his morals strongly. He stands for what is right. All right? He doesn't pay attention to ethnicity. This man is a massive supporter of Comrade Norton. Massive supporter of Comrade Norton. All right? So, Civic, to you, good evening. Good evening. We have to stand in solidarity. Whether it is that the Win Party is going to take their 16 seats and work authentically. Because, look, right now, things in my head, certain things are up in the air with what I'm seeing. It's a massive fight for power. Nobody wants to do the second level work or the third level work. Everyone wants to be out front. To me, it's not about being out front, but it's the work that you do. Right? This is our podcast here. And I am the host here because of you guys. You guys have selected me. I'm the one that's here. I'm here because of you. All right? So I get to speak. But I go through my comments after every program and I look at what you guys are saying. And it is used to build the following week's program. And you guys is one strong group of intellectuals. And all the people on the ground in Guyana ought to be thankful. Because you come here weekend after weekend standing in this fight, standing in solidarity. Yes, a lot of us is out in the diaspora and we cannot be on the ground to fight the fight. But we're fighting it to the best of our ability. We can't be power drunk. If we want to be successful, we cannot be power drunk. Each and every one of us, whatever it is that we so yearn to do, trust me, your turn is coming. Your turn is coming. Just be prepared. Don't rush it. Quickly, I'm going to touch on the Forward Guyana movement. I believe that dust up that they had in the Forward Guyana movement, it needs to stop immediately. All right? People have to understand that people trusted that party with their vote. The party did identify a leader. Okay? That leader has come out and said that she will serve the first 3 years, and then the Honorable Apostle Nigel London will serve the other 2 years. It is difficult to take 5 years and split it in 3, ladies and gentlemen. The other components of that party, do not dismiss yourself as leaders. You are leaders in your own right, but it's one seat. You are leader. And look, those 2 people that's going to be sitting in that seat, once they're delivering your narrative, there is nothing to worry about. These are simple issues if we think and if we're not power drunk. Mr. Dorwin Best, I'm not going to come out here and criticize that guy. I'm not going to do that. And Brother Francis Bailey, these are guys that work. They have worked. I will not take that away from them. But if you behave like that now, what are the chances of Forward Guyana getting 5 or 6 or 8 seats the next time around, where you guys are definitely going to be sitting at the table? What have you done to those chances? That's what you got to ask yourself. Again, brothers and sisters, we got to work as a quorum together. I like the Forward Guyana Party. I like their narrative. Like I said, that party would be able to work hand in hand with the APNU in Parliament, because the ideology is almost identical. Both parties wants to see equity and fairness to the Guyanese people. So, look, they got to work that out, and they need to work that out quick. You see, it's too much internal issues. You see, when you have all these internal issues, you cannot focus on the real issues out there, the real pressing issues that are affecting the everyday born and bred Guyanese. You cannot go there and focus and play, because look, the APNU and Forward Guyana and these parties, they have to play a ground game. Their game is on the ground. They have to win on the ground. That means they have to be consistently on the ground, edifying the people of Guyana. Are they going to get that opportunity? Yes. Can they be effective? Absolutely. Because the people are not going to see a yearly cash grant under the, well, sorry, not cash grant. I got to use it correctly. Cash disbursement. Cash transfer. Not no grant. Not no grant. Mr. Norton and his APNU said it best. A cash disbursement to the people of Guyana. He didn't want it to sound or to frame it as if he is giving something to them. It is something that they deserve. They would have passed legislation in Parliament guaranteeing Guyanese. All right? A cash disbursement. Once the oil, or let me change it, I believe it's all the natural resources pooled, would have met a certain threshold, meaning as a government, you can cover all your expenditures. You can do all the necessaries that you need to do within the scope of government. And then you have all this other income that is there sitting. We are going to take out a portion of it, right? And give to the people. That's not in Barajagdio's vocabulary. But you guys don't listen. You guys don't listen. And you know what? You know what? When some people start getting boycott, because it's those same people who does vend and who does do all these kind of things, just come on Facebook and curse you. They curse you down. They call people who are not doing good as they are ungrateful. What's there to be ungrateful about? What have they gotten that makes them ungrateful? They can't even give their kids 4 square meals a day, but they're ungrateful? In a country that's the fastest growing economy in the world? You got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Marcus Lloyd. That's not the point, Mr. Caesar. This seat comes with benefits. And all right, I guess he meant to say they had an agreement, the Forward Guyana movement needs to stick to that agreement if it is to be rotated. All right, Marcus Lloyd, you know what? You have a point. I'm not going to sit here and say that you don't have a point. The agreement would have had to be written. If there is not a written binding agreement, well, then VPAC didn't do their homework. Okay? And they'll have to deal with the consequences. I will say this, though. If there was a written binding agreement, you cannot go back on that. You have to be honest with that. If it was a written, because look, a written binding agreement is basically a contract. You can't just break the contract just like that. No. So we're hearing about bullying in this issue and bullying in this issue. If VPAC can present to the public something written, right? If they can present something written, then they have a legitimate case. Verbal promises, okay, are not to be, trusted. All right? Verbal promises, no. A written binding agreement, all right, we have something. We have it in writing. So, thank you. And good point, Lloyd Marcus. Good point. So, we continue. The work of the Guyanese people need to be done. I believe all parties should start settling in now, getting into a groove, putting together a strong strategic plan. I think I would have hinted this on Mark Benchcock's program straight up on Thursday. It's not something that I'm proud to say, but I must say it. Please, guys, take a look at Barry Jagdeo whenever he sits in opposition. He's never comfortable. To me, over the last 5 years, you guys have been too comfortable. And I'm talking about the hierarchy. Because I know some people that work in that party, man, they work like crazy. Why? Because they talk to me. And they let me know what they're doing. So I'm very, very familiar with these people. But as leaders, man, you cannot sit comfortable and have the people that report to you working themselves out. That is not fair. When you get into those conference rooms and you get in behind closed doors, you ought to be a representation of those people. All right? You ought to represent your people. Dr. Terence Campbell will be leading the group into Parliament. He's the leader in Parliament. But like I said, they're sending 12 people to Parliament when there's probably another 15 people that deserved a look for Parliament. So what I was saying a bit earlier, I think on another program, I think it was Straight Up last Thursday, that when you get into doing your strategic planning, it should not just be 12 people. Because I can't see how you can strategically plan without Comrade Christopher Jones, Comrade Roysdale Ford, Comrade Annette Ferguson, these guys who've got immense experience in the parliament. And then you have other young individuals like a Eden Corbin, a young Bear Ball, and them. They need to sit there and they need to learn. They need to be a part of the plan. So you're basically growing your party and getting your members experience on the ground. Because it's not the 12 individuals that's going to go there by themselves to edify the people of Guyana on the vision of the party. You will need more than that. Okay? Your regional chairman across all the regions. They're going to be the people that you have in leadership across all the regions. They're going to need to execute. They're going to be they're going to look, they're going to be tasked with making sure that they are grounded with everyone within their region, the electorate. Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Young Bearbal is one of the councillors. That's great to hear. Beautiful start for him. Linda Marshall Hurst. Wayne, you have a good point. Why can't they take a page out of Jack Dio's book, Shimi, when he's in opposition? The man still don't sleep. But you see, his nights not sleeping is not for the benefit of Guyanese. It's just how he can further keep them oppressed. We need someone to counter that with good. Okay? Wherever there is evil, God must always be there to overwhelm it. Look how long this man has had his thumb on Guyana. Look at the country. Not forgetting the gun violence that is upticking in the nation. Not forgetting the uptick in sexually transmitted diseases. You know, I noticed the health sector would have come out and they would have talked, they would have had a day where they talk about it. I think it was a sepsis day where they, you know, sepsis is that blood disease, you know, where the blood becomes infected and stuff like that. Very dangerous. But I believe there need to be strong education on sexually transmitted diseases because there have been an uptick in people testing positive for HIV. In this day and age, when we should have the optimum education on this disease. Like I would have said to parents, keep your daughters close to you, keep your sons close to you, man. Because there's evil lurking in every corner of Guyana. And this is where the church comes in, and this is where the church is failing the people. I'm not saying that certain churches are not doing well. Some churches are doing well. Others are just standing by collecting whatever subsidies they're getting from the government, and they're sitting there. In certain cases, the man that delivers the word is no different from the kleptomaniacs within the government, within the cabinet of the PPPC. This is about people. This could never be about money. This is about people. Money is a part of it. It's obvious that they'll need money to feed their children, their loved ones, their family, pay their rent, pay their bills. But this is about people. And when we're dealing with people, we cannot have a transactional government. When we're dealing with people, we got to have a people-centric government, a people-oriented government. September 1st was an opportunity for the electorate to do directly that. But like I said before, I'm stuck in no man's land because I cannot lay the blame on the electorate. Not with that list. It wouldn't be fair. Even if the electorate went, ladies and gentlemen, and voted overwhelmingly for APNU, even if they did, and they may have just done that, the list would have made the determination. The observers came. They've observed. And they've left instructions on what they feel needs to be changed based on what they would have seen. Like I would have said before, I believe based on what the observers would have said, that is license to say, hey, look, we have to stop this before the next local government election. Guys, I just never mean to come across rude. But I'll say this to Dr. Terence Campbell and his other 11 colleagues that are heading into the parliament. If you guys think that you're going to go into the parliament and waste years trying to be diplomatic with the PPP, the results of the 2030 elections is going to look exactly like this past elections. The PPP knows nothing about diplomacy. What do they know about diplomacy? The PPP does not even engage the opposition. And if the PPP engage Azruddin Mohammed as opposition leader, what am I to think? What are you asking me to think? They weren't engaging Comrade Norton. What am I to think? That it's a race thing? You can't give me wrong you can't give me wrong for thinking that. Because the logic is going to point right there based on the type of society Guyana is. The logic is going to point right there based on the type of society Guyana is. That the PPP did not want to engage a black man. The PPP did not want to engage a son of the transatlantic slave trade. The PPP has to understand, and I'm speaking to the Guyanese of East Indian descent faction of the PPP, that when they came to Guyana, when their ancestors came to Guyana, they found an emancipated people. Ladies and gentlemen, I love all the ethnic groups in Guyana. I come out here and I represent everybody, all Guyanese. But here's what I'm not going to stand for. I'm not going to stand for seeing any ethnic group not given the opportunity to participate. Right? I'm not going to sit here and see that there's not equity for all 6 ethnic groups in Guyana. Somewhere, at some point, we have to strike a balance. We have to strike a balance. This cannot be the narrative of Comrade Norton or Barrett Jagdeo or no one man. This is not about no one man. There's no one man that is more valuable than the masses. The masses always win. No one man can be more valuable than the masses. I've always said this, those ministers in the PPP, shame on them. Shame on them. None of them have a backbone to challenge Barry Jagdeo. Barry Jagdeo got a million flaws, but still they will not challenge him. On the side of the APNU, they exercise democracy 100%. Comrade Norton was challenged. And I hope he would have accepted those challenges, because that is what happens in a democracy. You have to accept the challenges. And then whatever election it is that you're participating, once it concludes, you find common ground to work together. Not, oh, I'm not talking to him. Oh, I'm not going to include him in parliament because he challenged me. No, 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 no. No, there's no place for that. Remember, this is about people. This has to be about people first. That's why we've taken the positions that we've taken to serve the people. Okay? As we move forward, there needs to be harmony. Congress Place needs to be a location of harmony. There's work to do, work to be done. We have never seen the PNC, and by extension the APNU, in this type of position before. We've never seen it. And if you ask me if I believe I would have ever lived to see what I'm seeing today, I will tell you absolutely not. It would never happen. But my brothers and sisters, it's the truth. It's a fact. This is where we are today. Okay? This is where we are today. This is a position that the APNU is working from today. They need to work with Forward Guyana. Okay? Forward Guyana and the APNU is more like-minded than Forward Guyana and the Wind Party. That's why I said the APNU and Forward Guyana needs to work together. Israel Gardner. Jagdeo believes he is the supreme ruler of Guyana. Absolutely, brother Israel. What is he to believe? What else is he to believe? He had a 23-year disaster, and now he's back for more. He just finished another 5 years. Disaster. 5 years, fastest growing economy, billions upon billions in oil, $100,000 for each adult Guyanese. Right? As a grant, as Barry Jagdeo takes his pen and he signs off here, $100,000. Guyanese critic, is because of your boss, Barry Jagdeo, signing off $100,000 to each Guyanese adult over the past 5 years. That gives you the license to call them hungry belly. Okay? You can call them that. They don't have any money to spend. They're not getting anything from the natural resources in their nation that is right under their feet every day, that is being extracted. The investors are gaining tremendously from that. Right? You who got $1 billion contract to do a coke on and work on nothing, right? You're benefiting from it. You see, when the general public, when the masses decide to rise up and start to shut people down, nobody's not going to come offshore with their ships and their drones and say, oh, we blowing them up and we doing this, because the world is going to be watching you. The world is going to be watching you. You see, they have internet now. The world is going to be watching you. This has been happening for decades. Okay? This has been happening for decades. The time of colonialism never ended. Okay? It has become modern colonialism. It has never ended. What is right is not innately deemed right. And Brother Israel said it. That supreme leader, quote unquote, because hey, I ain't kissing nobody ring, right? I ain't bowing down to no other man. That's another human being. When he goes to the bathroom, it smells. He does the same thing that all of us here do. Okay? You bow to no one. You bow to no one. We are all human beings. We all have a right to be here. Let's get down to bare brass facts. I am jealous of no man, but I will not bow to any man. You kidding me? What are you asking me to do? There are imminent threats to strike within Venezuela, which of course is going to affect Guyana. Because I'm sure at some point, U.S. naval ships is going to enter Guyana waters, if they have not already done so. That makes us a direct target for Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro, I say shame on him. If it is that he really want to capture Essequibo to further enlarge his pharmacy. Because based on what they're claiming, Mr. Maduro, is that you make your money by dealing drugs. Since there's so much sanctions against you, you make your money basically by killing people with drugs. That's what they're saying. I'm not going to say every time, but most of the time the intelligence is correct. I'm not going to say 100%, because people do a lot, large economies do a lot of stuff in this world today that the intelligence is not accurate. They just wanted to do that so that whatever other nation wouldn't gain power. This whole thing is designed to have a certain amount of developed nations, a certain amount of nations undeveloped, a certain amount of people, wealthy with their bellies full, and you have others facing famine and starvation. And I don't want to, look, when I think about these things, it's so, these topics are so broad, man, that we cannot even get to really own in on one of them. But I just want these people to understand that there are intelligent people out there that understands a lot. Okay? That understand a lot. Zeburia Israel. My brother, Venezuela do not have any drugs. America wants their oil. You see, well, my brother, you heard what I said, right? You heard what I said. It's alleged, right? I cannot say 100% accurate. Afras Usman, hail up, Mr. Caesar. Can an Auditor General skip 2020 to 2023 and just do 2024? Afras, that Auditor General have to have good reason as to why, that he's skipping 2020 to 2023. What happened in it? Was it a lot of corruption happening in that period? No, we need to have all the years. That's why the Public Accounts Committee, let me say something to you guys. All right. Jermaine Figueroa was working with the PPP for years now. All right. I'm saying this to you guys. I am saying this based on my analysis. Jermaine Figueroa has been working with the PPP for over 5 years now, undermining the opposition, feeding the PPP with internal intelligence from the opposition. And I will say this also, it is not just Jermaine Figueroa that would have done that. There are others that was in the party that was feeding information to the PPP. The PPP has penetrated the APNU and would have essentially destroyed it, bringing it down to 12 seats. Okay, let's not, we BS around with a lot of nonsense. All right? We need to start getting to the point and speaking the truth. Okay? The PPP intention is to have a one-party state. Okay? They are going to meander around and play around like if the win party is the opposition, when the win party technically is not the opposition. They are both working as a quorum. Okay, I am tired of not saying what I feel and saying what I know is correct. Nobody's buying for Guyana. No one is buying for the people of Guyana. Everyone is selling. That's what they're doing. They are selling. The one party that would have bought for you guys is the APNU. And I'll still stand behind my words. That is the best manifesto I have ever seen in my life. Outside of some little moderations, maybe, that manifesto should not change. Over the next 5 years, as you on the ground edifying the people of Guyana, edify them according to that manifesto. It is a valuable piece of work and can really shape the future of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. People get it wrong all the time. Their thinking is that, they don't want to see progress. They don't want to deal with any investor. Nonsense. We welcome everyone to invest in Guyana. But your practices will be proper, they will be clean, and they will be within the ambits of the laws. Both international and within the scope of the local Guyana laws. That's what we will ask. We don't want to see progress. The entire world is progressing. Why would we not want to progress? They come and they talk utter nonsense. And people who are not educated sit down and they listen to that nonsense. When we talk about progress, we must talk about progress with equity for all. We must talk about progress with equity for all. Look at the agriculture minister, Zulfikar. All of a sudden, that man is one of the richest men in Guyana. It's just like that. And then many, particularly PPP supporters that are East Indians, they come out and say, so Mr. Caesar, they ain't got something named investment? Oh, okay. So he could get big and rich and investing and doing all this stuff. While you got your nurses, your teachers, and all of them in Guyana living, public servants living like lappy dogs, right? And that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Should that have been a black man, a Guyanese of African descent that would have been doing that? You would not have heard the end of it. But I'm going to say this to all the investors out there. If you guys think that you're going to come to Guyana and you guys going to use lobbying firms and you guys going to use all of these things to dictate who is going to be the leader, and you never want to deal with a Guyanese of African descent, then you will not be able to capture Guyana. Because Guyana firstly belongs to the indigenous people and then the Africans who came via the transatlantic slave trade. Okay? So Guyana started with them and it has to end with them. It has started with them and it will have to end with them. And listen, I don't care who they hire to overlook the One Guyana initiative and all that kind of stuff. There's no one Guyana. There's one people, one nation, one destiny. That's the way it's going to always be. There's no one party that's going to come in and change the motto of Guyana. What utter nonsense is that? How come we listen to these stupidness? How is it that we sit down and allow the PPP to change North Rumvelt multilateral to North Rumvelt secondary? There's a reason why we have multilateral schools in Guyana. The opposition got a lot of work to do. Again, I'm going to talk about this again. I'm saying this again, and I'm going to try to say it on as many programs as I can. Where are the lawyers in the opposition to make sure that the Linden martyrs are paid? It has been decades. Can somebody please kindly pick up that case? Can somebody look at it, please? These are the type of things that you have to enforce so that the PPP can know that you guys are actually serious. That's why the man walked into the parliament and called it a clown show. Guys, let's look, brothers and sisters, let's start being honest. Let's start being honest. Because I know that you guys are honest, but I'm just using it as a statement. This opposition has to get serious. This opposition is not even capable of providing protections for people who just defend and fight for it. Because many statements that Barry Jagdeo makes on his Thursday press conference, you find us right here on Bench Up Radio belling the cat with regards to those statements. We are the ones doing the rebuttal. You guys got to get on the ground. You guys got to do the work, man, with the people. All right? You got to do the work with the people. It's okay, guys. We're coming up on closing time. All right? We're coming up on closing time. Let's continue to keep our heads up. All right? We got to keep fighting. All right? Good must always prevail over evil. The day we allow evil to start prevailing over good, we are all doomed. We are all doomed. So I call on everyone. Continue to hold your heads up. Continue to join these programs. Continue to participate, because when you join these programs, you're doing your part. Okay? Guyana don't have jobs for you guys. They don't have jobs for us in Guyana. Right? We can't go back home and look to establish ourselves. Right? Israel, you're making some valid points. I'll read your points after the program. And you guys, please, feel free to leave me notes, leave me messages right in the comments directly, or inbox me, whatever you guys want to do. All right? Anything to enhance this broadcast. Yes, Keith Beresford, we must be on fire. We must speak the right things. We must speak to the truth. Jason Benjamin, it's good to see you. Francine Cruz, it's good to see you. Boss Manga Live, it's good to see you. It's good to see all of you guys. All right. I love you, love you, love you guys. Please do take care of yourselves. For you on the ground in Guyana traveling the highways and the byways, please be careful. Don't just drive for you. Drive for yourself, the pedestrian, and other motorists on the road. All right? Stay clear of gun violence, ladies and gentlemen. Husbands and wives, please get together and talk through everything, man. Talk through everything. No spousal abuse, okay? None of that. All right? None of that. Please, please, please. Love you, love you, love you guys. Again, this program was brought to you courtesy of Benchop Consultancy, Immigration and Law. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining this evening. Again, I love you, love you, love you. Good evening. Over to you. Good night.